Hello, internets. This is BoneCarlos with me, Nav. Both of us coming to you live from Whirlwind Ladder Edition. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
No more hot tea for you?
Nope.
The great hot tea incident of 2013. Today's players are going to be none other than OneGun spawning as the red Protoss. His opponent is going to be the one, the only PiNG spawning as the blue Zerg. A good old PVZ on a big old map. What are you going to want out of these two players?
Expecting a pretty significantly heavy macro game here, just because this map is so huge. I mean, it's easy to kind of nestle a hidden base away somewhere kind of far from your own, but far from your opponent. And sometimes people just have one of those games where they're just like, I'm just going to scout everywhere but this base. Yeah, and right now we already see something, a little bit of a deviation coming out of OneGun. He is, I do believe, a high diamond, low masters level player. No forge fast expand, so what this means to me is he might be going for a Naniwa-esque type of early harassment with zealots, going into early expansion, and then going into 6, 7, 8 gauge zealot pressure. We're definitely more than likely not going to see the Stalker Zealot Mothership Core early harassment, since he's not deciding to wall off, and with due reason. I mean, this ramp here at the natural expansion, kind of large. It really is. That ramp at that expansion, definitely large. One going up in the main, little smaller, but just, you know, for anything that would kind of involve really just attacking that natural very aggressively is something that would go well on this map, because it would take them a lot longer to wall off than some other maps.
And even on some of the other maps, you do see some of these ramps are the same size, but you could actually use the Nexus at the natural expansion as part of the wall. It makes it a lot easier, but with Whirlwind, no dice, and then it becomes a problem of grabbing your third. I mean, going down into the south, if you're OneGun, you have, again, destructible rocks onto this extra wide ramp leading to both sides, and then if you're going to go ahead and go west, same deal. So it's going to be very interesting to see what OneGun does off of this one base sort of build. I mean, he's walling off at the southern end, which is the end directly leading to that ramp, so no Zergling run-bys, but we see PiNG is going off into his natural expansion. Gonna go ahead and go double extractor. He doesn't know where his opponent is just yet. Actually, a little bit of a extractor trick to get himself a couple of extra drones. He's gonna have enough. Actually, he actually built that initial extractor a little bit late. Doesn't have enough for that metabolic boost right off the bat. But since he bought up that hatchery a little bit quicker, so odds and ends, evens comes out to about the same. Quick expansion coming out of OneGun. Oh man, this is gonna be interesting.
Yep, and all he has to do is just kind of, Mothership Core to follow, just as I kind of figured here, and just kind of trickle out a couple zealots and get that Mothership Core in a position to use Photon, and you're gonna be pretty safe from any kind of Ling harassment type of deal that could come out. But at the moment, we're only seeing 2 Lings out here, and the queens are just starting to produce, so it's gonna be a little while before we see a larva injected wave of Lings, if it's coming.
Yeah, and I honestly don't think it's coming anytime soon. I mean, he just started metabolic boost. If he had that in mind right off the bat, that spawning pool would have been churning out that metabolic boost as soon as it was done morphing. But I think those we're not gonna see anything too crazy. These Zerglings are there just to grab this watchtower, try to find out exactly where the base of OneGun is, because PiNG still has no idea. Neither of his overlords has found it. He has to suspect something's going down, and this probe is just itching to put down maybe another gateway here. It's just there, ready to put it down, and he's clicking on it, and he just wants to just, there it is! Gateway, 2 gateways, and it traps that probe. That probe does go down, and see what happens when you try to do your job. And actually it looks like, actually no, it wasn't a premature photonic overcharge, but see what happens when you try to do your job, probe, you get killed.
Yep, getting stuck there. That's happened to many SCVs, many of mine.
And that's what happens. And it looks like PiNG saw that initial force of Stalker Zealot Mothership Core. Actually going to go ahead and come out at around the same time, even if you do forge fast expanded, if not about a half minute earlier. And he's going to go ahead and put down that spine crawler there for defense. He has plenty of queens for defense as well, and it doesn't look like he's trying to gear up for any sort of a third expansion just yet, taking up that second extractor. Hatchery, still a hatchery, not a lair just yet. Another couple of Zerglings there, going to go ahead and scout around the map, make sure there's no pylons left anywhere by OneGun, which Protoss players generally do put down pylons every once in a while.
Yep, definitely throwing up in that corner. A lot of times what I like to do is kind of place a pylon somewhere kind of in the general vicinity of your third, wait for a battle, warp in a handful of zealots, and just kind of say, go to the middle line.
And that generally just work wonders, especially if your opponent attacks you, counterattack. Love it. And right now we see Phoenixes being built by OneGun, but Spore Crawlers already up, or actually down, rooting and being built both in the natural expansion and in the main base, even though PiNG has no idea that that's being built. I mean, he's just got his Overlord into the natural expansion of OneGun, but he did see that gas timing, so he figures nothing really has been built aside from those initial 3 attacking quote-unquote units, Mothership Core notwithstanding. Nothing else besides built, and those assimilars, nothing in the natural expansion. So he's assuming Sky Toss. I mean, why not? It's so fun, so lovable, and something that I generally enjoy seeing.
Yeah, but it's definitely something that opened up a lot of diversity in HOTS for the Protoss, other than their standard, okay, Robo. You know, they have more diversity right now in terms of like what they can do, and especially with the fact that they made the Oracle have that ability to detect, so you don't even really need a Robo in terms of detection aspect.
Yeah, exactly. And if I do say so myself, there is something going on with your mic. You are warbling all over the place, buddy. Still understandable, just phasing in and out there a little bit.
That is.
There it goes.
Well,
there it goes.
Oh. Yeah. Well, maybe time for a new mic here, you know, with these cheap Walmart mics, you know.
Yeah, you know what? Oh, and looks like these Phoenixes might catch this single Overlord. No, they're just gonna go ahead and fly on by. But no, like the headphones that I'm using right now, I got them at Ross, pretty much even cheaper version of Walmart. And my favorite microphone so far, they finally did catch up to that Overlord. Gonna go ahead and take it down. Those Phoenixes are going to be put down. In immediate response, PiNG puts down 3 more Spore Crawlers, so 2 at each base, it looks like. 1 more going to be put down in the third as soon as possible. And now it looks like OneGun is floating almost 1,000 minerals, and something that generally happens when you try to go Sky Toss. You just overload on those minerals, kind of lose a lot in that gas, and wow, double robotics facility turning out the Immortals. I'm not sure where he's going with this.
Yep, it looks like, yeah, we got the Mothership Core, got a Stalker, double Robo. I mean, you'd think that if you're going air, they're gonna try to go for some kind of anti-air counterattack or something,
and
not like heavy roaches or ultralisks perhaps.
Right,
you know?
and right now, I mean, he's just gonna get those 2. I mean, the robotics bay is down, so I'm assuming double Colossi as soon as this pops. He does have the energy and the minerals and gas to produce them. Robotics bay is just finishing up. Warp gates down, and where is that double Colossus? 1, 2, there it is. So I believe he just put down those 2 Immortals in case there was a massive influx of roaches. I mean, 2 roaches behind or 2 Immortals behind a wall could hold off an almost infinite amount of roaches with that plus 45, especially with that Mothership Core there for defense, with that Photonic Overcharge. It's just a precautionary measure. I know it sucks losing as a Protoss player when you decide to go with this early Phoenix harass, and all of a sudden you got 20 roaches and nothing to defend. It sucks something bad.
Yep, and he does go ahead and get a couple drones here. These Phoenixes, in my opinion, have already paid for themselves. They've killed several Overlords. They've killed at least 2 Queens, a handful of drones. They've done their job and definitely kind of disrupted the economy of our Zerg player. Look at this, no queen in that main at all. So that's going to be at least a glob less larva until he reproduces it. But I mean, you know, not like a game-dealing blow, but just something to kind of keep him busy as he's getting, you know, this ideal army that he wants to out. Kind of playing some mind games, going from air into Colossus.
Definitely, he's definitely trying to counteract what his opponent might actually do, especially since if you force your opponent to go Hydralisk, Colossi are gonna rip to shreds. Ultralisk Cavern going down by PiNG. But this is something that I wanted the Terran player in the previous game we just casted to do so and continue to do so by keeping up with that harassment. This is something that OneGun is actually doing it very well, but at the same time, he's macroing behind it as well. He has his third Nexus going down about 75% done. He has plenty of gateways. He's trying to build up his infrastructure, and it's something that the Terran player before did do a smidge, a couple of minutes too late, and it ultimately didn't pan out. As well, this Overseer is going to spot everything. Going to see this couple Colossi say hi. Single Stalker is going to try to shoot it away, but until these Phoenixes get in, there isn't much in the way of anti-air. No upgrades just yet, surprisingly. Oh, actually, he does have this double Forge going down, churning out those upgrades already. +1 armor, +1 attack on the Zerg side. 1-1 also. taking up his 4th base. 4 Ultralisks are being produced, so it's going to come down to where these Immortals are able to do the damage, because right now it's just Stalker, 4 Colossi, and 2 Immortal, alongside with those 4 Phoenixes, but now 3, 5, 7 Warp
Yep,
Gates.
and he's...
Well, actually, and then, yeah, 10 down at the southern end. So, yeah, he's definitely going to have the unit producing structures he needs off of 3 bases, and I feel the push coming in about a minute and a half to 2 minutes.
Yep, and then we'll see what goes down here. Ultras are pretty good against Colossus just because they're overwhelming amount of HP and direct damage. But those Lings on the other hand though, they could get toasted.
Oh yeah, if he comes in from the wrong angle, or if they get caught up in the massive bulk of the Ultralisks, the Colossi will rip them to shreds, or actually, like you said, toast them alive, very literally. PiNG's going to sacrifice a single Overlord to save 2, but there's still 2 more in the vicinity. He is getting supply blocked quite frequently. This is the 3rd or 4th time I've seen him supply blocked, and it's going to be very heavily supply blocked at the moment. He's building 2 more Overlords, but that might just get him out, but not enough to build anything of substance. And here comes the attack. Ultralisks and Zerglings versus Immortals and Colossi. Oh, this can't be good.
Yep, and he's going up the way you really don't want to go. Yep. This wall off right here wasn't really meant to keep them completely out. I mean, yeah, it's there to definitely detour them, but pretty much just funnel them in the direction that you want them to go. Kind of almost like a Fortress Terran style kind of strategy where you just kind of funnel them into exactly where you want to put them.
And right now, it looks like the reinforcing Ultras are going to get into the mix. A couple of Immortals are still alive, doing massive damages, and the meat shield of those Zealots was enough to delay the Ultralisks long enough for the Immortals to kill it. And then a single drone, they're getting Froggy, decided to join the fray and says, yeah, you know what, I don't want to play with the big boys, they're kind of too rough, I'm going to head on home and do something else. And still, these Phoenixes are still getting kills to their name. Earlier they had a dozen between the 4 of them, and now it looks like they're going up to almost plus 20. Holy cow.
Yeah, these Phoenixes have paid for this stuff and then some. It's just lack of anti-air. Like, get all your queens together.
Infestors. Oh man.
He missed. He's still making him use that Vogel though.
He's dodging left and right. Are these Phoenixes going to survive? Oh my. No, 1 goes down. It looks like a 2nd does manage to go down. 3rd, get out of there, Phoenix. You're the last one left.
Go home,
yeah, oh man, 6 kills to its name. Looking at the units, lost tab. 8,000 plus 4 PiNG, 3,000 plus 4 OneGun. Oh man, now this Phoenix is just acting the role of a spoiler and just scouting for this army. It looks like, the Colossus count still at 4, but more Immortals have been being churned out of those robotics facilities. Those Zerglings are going to get roasted alive, and they're going to be blocked off by these Zealots. Zerglings are going to try to get us around on these Immortals, but there is just too many Protoss units, Colossi, churning out those Ultralisks. Didn't even need those Immortals. Blink forward, going to pick off a balloon, and going to go give chase to the Ultralisk.
A balloon, I like that.
I mean, kind of pop like a balloon. Finally, Roaches are in the mix, but I mean, he does. It looks like PiNG does have 4 or 5 bases, but no saturation at any of them. 66 Harvesters to OneGun, 64 to PiNG, and right now PiNG, he wants to be 80 plus, a little bit under 90 really on this amount of bases. And here comes a nice little assault by OneGun, max out 200 PiNG, 140. I don't see this ending well for PiNG.
Really won't here. Just the Protoss. He's about to finish his level 3 weapons. His level 3 armor is just about finished as well. Yes, PiNG's got the level 4 armor coming down the way, but it's too much at this point. This is just the thing you don't want to happen in fights.
Yeah, I mean, Fungal Growth does catch plenty of the units, but the Stalkers managed to get blinked back behind the Immortals. Now the Colossus are going to churn up on those Roaches. Get rid of those Ultralisks. Oh, this is just terribly bad. And I honestly got to say that the 2 main flaws in PiNG's arsenal, or just decision-making abilities, were to not take out those Phoenixes whenever he had the chance, and not go Ultralisks instead of Hydralisks. Those Hydralisks would have ripped apart all those Zealots, and I do believe they're actually pretty decent up against Immortals since they're not armored. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're You're very much correct, because Immortals' whole point of Immortals is that their Hardened Shield takes slow, powerful damage and reduces it down to 10. Well, Hydros have fast damage that only gets reduced -2 from 12 down to 10. So they do shred through Immortals very quickly, and they would have been very effective against the Zealots and the Hydras. You just would have had to just do something about the Colossuses, and then he would have been just
I
fine.
think these 4 Colossi were the only 4 he built. I mean, look at the kill count: 35, 32, 20, 26. Granted, most of those were Zerglings, but still, that's a high number.
Yep, they really made it so those Zerglings were not a factor at all. Couldn't get us around on anything that they're actually good at surrounding: Stalkers, Immortals, and whatnot. Just was never able to get in there and do what they wanted to do. It's kind of like just you need to kind of specific with the kind of like the hammer build that I use. You want certain things attacking other certain things. You don't want, say, Immortals attacking my Marines. You want them attacking what they're good at attacking. And he was trying to get there. It's just he could never get the surround he wanted.
Partly was that defensive position in a OneGun. Great holds, especially at the third base, forcing your opponent to go up a ramp. 99% of the time, that's never good for the attacking units. But that was it for this replay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If not, leave comments down below on what we could do to make these more enjoyable for you. If you have one of your own replays you'd like for us to cast, upload them to one of the major replay sites. Drop.sc is popular. We got this one off of GG Tracker, sent in individually by OneGun. Shout out to him. So that was it for this replay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Any parting words of wisdom, Meznov?
Just when you're going into a battle, really try to figure out exactly where your opponent is, so you can approach it in an intelligent manner and try to get
There you go. So that's it for me. We're out of here.
Later.